Shut your mouth, Keith. Shut your fucking mouth, Keith. Anyway, yeah. We're 35 minutes late because Google Meets. Listen, I'm going to start this off by letting everybody know I fucking hate StreamYard with a passion. I think StreamYard is the dumbest shit in the history of mankind. And if I could light it on fire for fun, I'd do it every day. Because the quality sucks. Just to get this little dumb StreamYard thing in the corner. They want to pay, which is fine. I get it. You're getting free shit. All good, son. But you want me to pay $20 a month just to remove that shit? You can go fuck yourself like crazy. So basically what I typically do is I'll use Google Meets and then I use OBS, which is OBS is open broadcasting software. It's open source. It's free. They don't put any fucking ads on anything. And like 9 billion, like all the streamers on Twitch that make $9 billion. Yeah, they use OBS and that shit's free and they still don't advertise. Anyway, so I usually use that, but Google Chrome decided to be a piece of shit, so now I have to go to this GeoCities fucking Angel Fire level bullshit, and now we're actually
that old people.
Yeah. It's fucking Friendster. We're on Friendster right now, and we're live. We're half an hour late, so that other link, and that's the other thing that sucks about it. This is the worst part is when I set these up. That link that I have up that is like, hey, we're going to be broadcasting in an hour. You can't connect that with StreamYard, so I have to create a whole new stream. So everybody's like sitting over in the other one waiting, and they don't realize that we're streaming now. That's the other shitty part about doing it.
Right.
Anyway,
of course.
You guys go ahead and talk while I go over to that stream and tell everybody to come to this one. So
yeah, we will. It's just I think this is the most beautiful part of this right now is that there's a bunch of 21, 22-year-olds that basically just drink the hype IPAs, just grabbing their phones going, what the goddamn hell is GeoCities Angel Fire? What the hell is this shit? Before you know it, we're going to talk about MySpace.
That was,
oh my god.
I think I had a, what was it? Was it an Angel Fire website?
Oh yeah, straight up. Totally
oh yeah. I had one.
What was it? It was a big business fairy or a small business fairy or something like that?
No, that was before all that. I don't even know what I put on it, but everybody had one. Everybody just had one and like put stuff on there. So I had one. I think I put like song lyrics on it or something. I had it when I was like 15, 16 or something. I don't know. I don't remember. It's probably still out there though. It's probably still out there somewhere.
You can't put anything on the internet and just remove it. It will always be there. Internet is forever.
I don't know about that. I don't know about internet is forever because I tried to steal this game that I used to steal back in the day and I can't steal it anymore. So where's that shit?
Yeah, I want to sound all sage-like and everything right now, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, fine. Whatever. Tomas, what are you drinking, motherfucker?
I'm drinking a. This is pretty weird for me. I never really drink these. I'm drinking a lactose IPA. It's called Old School Lemonade. It's a 7% ABV lactose vanilla IPA. It's got citra and lemon drop. This is I think the first time I've ever had lemon drop hops. I don't know if you guys ever heard of those, but for me this is a first.
Yeah, I've had it a bunch. I'm not a big fan of lemon drop hop.
Yeah.
No, the entire thing. And if you look at Keith and I were talking when you were fucking around with your shit, this thing looks oxidized as hell. But the thing is, because of the lactose and the vanilla, it already has a sweetness to it, and I don't know. It's okay-ish, I guess.
What about you, Keith?
I'm drinking the same thing you are.
There you go. Twinsies. This is delicious. It's a brewery called Hackensack Brewing. Minority owned partnership. Not completely. It's an Ancient Mathematics Session IPA. It is a 4.6%. IPA.
Lovely.
All
Which is
mosaic.
All
All
mosaic.
All mosaic.
Yeah. And then after that, I'm diving into the session beer. I have this session beer here.
Oof.
16.3% barrel aged old ale, Solera Method. Yeah, anniversary beer. That's my palate cleanser in between beers.
Are you drinking that
Sounds
whole
good.
thing? Are you drinking that whole thing on the live stream?
No, I'm not you, Keith.
Yeah.
I will drink that over the next 3 days. It's not that good. It's okay. I did a review of it. It's not. It's honestly. It's exactly
Oh, you
what
already
I
opened it.
Yeah, I already opened it. I did a couple of reviews before I came on, and it's exactly what I thought it would be, which was kind of a bummer, because it's like these. So the brewery, Thomas, is a brewery in California. It's the brewery. You can see it's spelled differently.
I know. I've got a soul on standby right here, so I know the brewery.
Okay.
That's it. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, and they and this is one of my favorite beers they produce. It's their anniversary beer, and it's like a pseudo Solera Method beer. And by that, I mean, do you know what Solera Method is? Okay, so it was always one of my favorite ones, but over the years, the brewery has kind of changed. This beer used to be waxed; it's not waxed anymore. The label's like a different quality, and it's smaller. So it's like, it just seems like it's like they cut corners a little bit on it, the packaging wise, and you can kind of taste in the beer. It's not like the beer is any less of a beer than it was before, but it seems like they're putting the onus of aging on the person as opposed to themselves. So it tastes like this beer is going to be great in like 4 or 5 more years, whereas the other beer was great almost out of the chute. So it's like almost like they're putting the onus of the aging. So they're getting the beer out faster and quicker. Which kind of takes away that kind of greatness and lusciousness of the beer. So it's not bad. I just wish I opened it 5 years from now. Let's put it that way. So, yeah.
And it's not something you can easily. This particular vintage is not one you can easily pick up another one and just put away for 5 more years.
I bought this today. I can go get it. 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 I can go get more right now, but it's $32 a bottle. So
yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what they call. But it's a 750. It's not like a, you know what I mean. It's not a tiny bottle. It's a gigantic bottle. You know what I mean? But it's yeah.
It's about an hour's worth of drinking, basically.
Really? Oh,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
an hour in Amsterdam is like 15 minutes here. What?
Give or take. Yeah, no, but we're hardy people. We Europeans know how to.
I'm saying with an hour, and that's like, dude, that's like 20 minutes of drinking right there, brother.
Shotgun the hell out of it.
Shotgun. No, see, that's one of my problems. I don't know if you guys are like this, but I'm like this. For me, how do I put this in a way that kind of makes sense? For me, when I drink beers, like if I'm gonna go drink, like I'm fucking drinking. Like not like I'm gonna have a beer or two and then go to bed. Like I'm like, okay, I'm fucking drinking. It's like it's almost like the Big Bang Theory. When I drink, is that every subsequent beer is half the amount of time as the previous beer. So if I open a beer and I drink it and it takes me 15 minutes, I'm like, oh, that's great. And the next beer I open, that'll take me 10 minutes. And then the next beer I open, it'll take me 8 minutes. Then the next beer I open, it'll take me 6 minutes. And then it's just like, that's it. It's just constant.
Yeah, exactly.
Faster. And I'm just like, bang, that was good. Bang, that was good. Bang, that was good. And I'm like,
I know exactly what you mean. That's the point where you took that session IPA took you 20 minutes, but the 13% ABV Russian Imperial Stout was gone in 10. It's exactly that thing. Yeah, I know what you mean. And I'm not proud of that, but that's basically my sort of method during any beer festival, which is probably why I shouldn't go to any festivals anymore.
Yeah. No. That's actually, I'm pretty good at festivals. I've learned. For some reason, like, don't get me wrong, I have fun, but I've learned. I mean, when Keith and I did Shelton Brothers, we did pretty good at Shelton Brothers.
Yeah.
Like I timed my blackout pretty good on that one. Yeah. Like I literally we ate a hamburger, we got in a place, and I remember everybody going, "Yeah, we're not gonna hang out anymore," and they went left, and I went, "Okay," and then I woke up.
Yeah. We were kind of on pace with each other, like during the festival, but then you went hard like afterwards.
Yeah.
Like every single place we went, even if we couldn't stay there, you had a beer.
I had a beer. You're like, I don't think we can get any beer. I'm like, really? I'm like, I'll finish mine. We'll go somewhere else.
Oh man, no! I just know that the last festival I went to, I started the festival with a 25% double ice boxed Imperial barrel aged stout, and the only thing I do know is that somewhere in the morning somebody sent me some videos of me singing Backstreet Boys, and all I know is that I don't remember singing that. And when I asked the person who sent it to me, like, who the hell filmed that? It was quiet for a few minutes, and then I got a message. I think I did. So that sort of sets the tone there, I think.
The second part. So when we were talking about a festival, me and Keith both went to it's called the Shelton Brothers Festival here in the United States. They actually do a festival over. Let me see. It's actually kind of by you. Let me see if you've ever heard of it. Do you remember the name of it, Keith?
What was there?
Remember they had that secondary festival they do overseas. What was it called? Let's see. Let's see. Shelton Brothers for those that don't know, in the United States, they're the largest importer of beer in the United States. It's called the festival they throw is in. It's called the MASH Festival. It's called the MASH Beer Festival, and let's see where the location is.
Oh man,
I'm just curious to see if it's in Barcelona. But they're one of the largest importers of beer in the United States, of good beer. Let's put it this way: they were importing Cantillon in like the early '80s. They're the Cantillon. They're the Cantillon distributors here in the United States. They do Drie-Fontein, they do Cantillon, they do everybody like big, and that was their festival. And anytime there's like a really fancy festival, I just scumbag my way into something good about it. So I actually contacted the owners of Shelton Brothers, and I've had them on a radio show previously, Joel and Dan Shelton, and we actually ended up set up a podcast with them, and it's on my podcasting thing. And I was and he was all about it. He's like, yeah, well, let's do it. He's like, I'll get some brewers to come in, and ended up having a couple different brewers. We had Sebastian from Freigeist Brewing over there, and where was he? Austria, Keith, or I forget where Freigeist is. I think it might be Austria. Freigeist Brewing, and then we had the lead. He's not the owner, but the lead rep from a Napar beer out of Spain. And
that's some good stuff.
And then we had a couple local guys, the ex-owner, one of the co-owners of Jester King, and whatever. We had a podcast set up. Yeah, the podcast was the day after we blacked out after the festival. So we had to get rip shit drunk until like 2 a.m. Then I had to wake up at like 9 a.m. just like stinking of the hottest booze in the history of mankind, and hold a fucking 2-hour fucking podcast next to an escalator. And yeah, it actually ended up coming out really good. I thought the podcast came out well, but man, did I feel like a hot piece of garbage.
I need to that podcast, that I'm assuming that's still online, right?
Oh yeah, it's still up there.
Do you remember the title?
Yeah, if you just type in Beer Massive Shelton Brothers, it'll pop right up.
Right, awesome. I'm gonna definitely look that one up in the morning. That's gonna be great during breakfast. You really, by the way, Matt, you need to check the comments, because people are loving it right now. Yeah,
I'm about to jump into that right now. We have Remy chiming in saying, "Damn, what the damn hell? Because we took so long."
Yeah.
Russell Day saying Happy Friday, good vibes. And Remy still complaining about, it's 20 minutes until midnight there. Well, suck it up. Alex the Beer Master says, "What's up, Matt?" I don't know who the Matt with 2 T's is, but I'll assume it's for me. So I'll say what's going on, brother. Mercy Beers chiming in saying, "Evening. Join up, brother, if you're hanging around, if you want to chat. The links in.
This one wasn't so great.
Yeah,
I think he has it, but
yeah. Remy's saying that kind of sucks. Matt, it's dark, and what else? That's all. It's all dark. That's all that matters. It's dark. I think he's assuming about the beer. Matt, I'm hoping one day I can join your live stream with a beer. Hoping. Okay. Reach out to me, Alex. And like, not that I don't want anybody to join, but I just don't randomly throw the link out there because I don't know who you are. I know who you are through Facebook, through Instagram, YouTube, and comments, but I don't know if you're like a Trump supporter or like alt-right or anything like that. So I don't want to have you on here in case you're one of those people. And then we have no, it is what it is.
It's true.
It's my stream. Doug Hesselman's hey Matt, Keith, and Thomas. All the viewers, of course. What's going on, Doug? Doug's a longtime viewer. Awesome dude.
Oh, yeah. Doug's amazing.
Yeah. And then a little chat. Pablo is still alive. I don't know what that means. What does that mean? Pablo is still alive. Am I missing that? Oh, Pablo. Hey. There. Yeah. See?
I told you, man, this is going to be...
Keith Escobar. Evening, guys. I'm enjoying an Amager double black mash 2019. I know Amager, but I don't know what double black mash 2019 means, but I'm assuming it's high in ABV and that shit'll fuck you up like crazy. It's gotta be, right? There's no way you call something a double black mash. And loving the 70s porn mustache on Keith. He looks like a skinny Ron Jeremy. Hopefully that's so can we make Keith full screen here?
You need to click on there we go.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah,
just don't do that.
That's definitely.
Don't do the hedgehog, man, or I'm gonna kill you.
Or don't go to jail for molestation or whatever the hell it is.
No.
You know what I mean? Or well, man, that's kind of on the nose, Keith. I'm not gonna lie.
It's scary, and I really
no. Listen, Keith. Like Ron Jeremy's a much uglier man. You're dead sexy, Keith. But it's just the hair and the stash. It just kind of brings it home. So,
Matt, are you aware that as the starter of this stream, you have the power to change other people's usernames? You could switch Keith's name to.
Yeah, I know, but I'm not one of those people. No. Willie Muff. Willie Mouth.
Willie Mouth. Willie Mouth.
Willie Moof sounds like, I don't know, a braided merkin or something. Let's see. Yo, Willie. Doug's chiming in, so I guess they're BFFs. A lot of Dutch people.
Willie's Dutch. He's a big fan of the Dutch beer tubers.
Oh, okay, very cool. So yeah. Anyway, so what's going on, guys? What's new in your life, beer wise? Let's go there. Let's keep it kind of simple. Thomas, you can start off. What have you done recently? Have you had any awesome beers? Are you doing anything beer wise, or are you just kind of just buying beer, do a review, buy a beer, do a review?
A little bit of just we just finished our series where we during the COVID time we did interviews with Dutch breweries. We interviewed them through StreamYard. I'm so sorry. And that was a big thing. That was a big hit. People really love that. Mystery beers have been going great. Been getting a lot of mystery beers lately. So for the next couple of, I think, months, I'm set for mystery beers. So that's nice. And basically, just really doing my thing. And I'm hoping that now that the our restrictions are being lessened a little bit, I can go out on locations and do a few reviews on brew pubs and stuff like that. Mostly, the last few months is just, it's been buying beers and reviewing beers and stuff like that. I'm a lucky son of a bitch, by the way. Hopefully it will be here tomorrow or otherwise early next week when a Belgian viewer offered to send me some Struise beers. So that's nice. So I've got some of those coming in for reviewing. So that's something I'm really looking forward to.
I have a beer mail that's in the mail right now, and I'm waiting for it, and it doesn't seem like it's getting here, and it's kind of irritating me.
Ooh, what's in it?
I don't know.
It's mystery beer. Oh.
No, it's not mystery beer. It's actually Remy sent me a beer mail.
Ooh, I know a thing or two.
Yeah, so I got a little Euro action going on, and
got some Euro trash.
Yeah, there you go, Euro trash. And I don't know. It's kind of annoying me. Not that it's I'm afraid it's just not going to get here because sometimes that can be a little bit dodgy. I don't know. I'm not sure what shipping service he used. There's a really good shipping service I would have turned him on to, but he kind of sent it off and said, "Hey man, I sent you beer. Here's a picture." And I was like, okay. And it just doesn't seem like it's moving. Like his says it's been tendered But my end, it says it hasn't even been tendered yet, so we'll see what's what. So we'll see what's going on. But I'm really excited. I'm really excited to get it, and I'll let you know right now, Remy. A little spoiler alert: I was going to do this on a deal, but you'll be getting a return package without a doubt. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there.
I can tell you this though: if he send it through the standard Dutch postal service, which is, if I say it wrong, it's going to sound beautiful in American. It's PostNL, but if you just mispronounce it a little bit, it's it has a beautiful ring to it. Skinny Ron Jeremy is already very excited over here.
Here's the thing, though, and I'm not quite sure how the shipping works back and forth in general. But I'm not sure of the transit times. But let's put it this way: he sent it. I forget when he sent it, but I think it was like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, you good.
But here's the thing: last time I sent a beer mail to England, okay, I sent it on a Tuesday at 2 p.m. It arrived on Thursday at 10 a.m.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah. So I was, like, again, COVID, all that stuff can slow some stuff down, but 2 weeks.
I don't know, man. I once had. I guess it all depends on the carrier. I once had stuff that came from America when I was still in with the swords and stuff. I had swords that were like UPS and FedEx was 3 days, and I've had stuff that went through the American Postal Service and it took
weeks. Yeah.
No. That's how positive of you.
Oh,
2-3 months, maybe longer.
Oh, geez. Okay.
So
yeah, this one guy turned me on to a international postal service. A guy that sent me a beer mail from England, and he turned me on to these people, and it's probably the cheapest I've ever found and the fastest I've ever found. Basically, they're a third-party logistics company. Like, they're not the shipper. So, like, when I booked with them, then, like, DHL picked it up, but then another company delivered it. You know what I mean? So it wasn't the same company that picked it up nor delivered it. So, yeah, it worked really well. And I've used it a couple times here and there. But, yeah, I've gotten beer mails from, like, Italy. I've gotten beer mails from breweries, mostly breweries from Italy, a couple different places, and 9 times out of 10, those take forever because they just use standard post, and when you use standard post, it just like crawls through. So we'll see. My problem is, and I don't know if this is going to be a case. I hope there's just not some 4.5% fucking session IPA cooking in a box. You know what I mean? Like, if they're barrel-aged stouts or beers that can hold up to the oomph, that's the thing. I just want the breweries to have a fair shake. It is what it is. But.
Knowing Remy, he's aware of that.
Don't give anything away. Don't give anything away.
No.
Get your fucking whore mouth.
I'm not giving anything away. I'm just saying, knowing Remy, he knows that it's going to take a while, and he knows his beer, so he wouldn't put stuff like that there. I'm saying he's put some stuff in there that'll be good when you get it.
Okay. Fair enough. Now, knowing me, when I return a package, I'm going to put one of those fruit smoothie beers in there, so it explodes when he opens it up. So that's what I'll do. Yeah.
Oh, Remy just replied in chat, by the way. Please try and pronounce that word. Just please do.
If I'm not gonna try to pronounce what I think it sounds like. I'm gonna pronounce it phonetically in English.
Yeah, go for it.
It's phonetically in English. It's Bluba digesters. The Bloober Deek Jesters.
You're the last one is pretty close. Blubberdicke Jetses.
Okay. Yeah, good.
And I'm not gonna say what it means because it's a term that he coined, and actually a Dutch brewery used it for a beer. It's also and again, Skinny Ron Jeremy's gonna love this because we're gonna go back to anatomy. It's a expression for certain voluptuous feminine shapes.
I'm not gonna lie to you. If you told me to guess what I thought it would be, I think I'd eventually get to that very shortly. Yeah. It's got a fantastic
Suddenly I'm watching, what's that movie again? Suddenly I'm watching, oh God, from the, was it 70s, 80s? What's this, the sorority
Porky's.
group? No, the sorority guys. Who was
Oh,
it?
fucking Animal House.
Animal House. Toga Party. Oh, Christ.
So, this is going to be a fun. So, this is the mystery beer I did.
Mm-hmm.
The live. Oh, I'm gonna have to post that tonight. So, I did this as a mystery beer. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right before we came on air, I did an unboxing and just pulled one of them off the unboxing and just did a mystery beer straight out the chute. I have this same beer recorded as a mystery beer from a month ago. So I got the same beer as a mystery beer twice in the same month.
Way.
So it'll be fun to see what I say about the other one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now the other one was a month ago, and this is only canned about 2 weeks ago. So the other one was a different batch, so there could be variants. But it'll be interesting to see what I say about this one. So I'll have to post that one later tonight. Just because it's cool. I was like, oh my God, I got the same beer as a mystery beer twice. I've had that happen before, but like a year or so apart. You know what I mean? But like the same month, that's really weird.
It is, but so the batch is a little bit different, but the age when you had it, was it roughly the same? Give or take ish?
I don't know. I don't remember what I said about the other one.
Oh, okay. Oh
Yeah,
man, that's gonna be so much fun.
I don't remember. And it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Yeah. Okay, let's get back to the comments real quick. So we'll see what's what. Matt, I am not a Trump supporter, says Alex the Beer Master. I really don't get into politics unless it's history apologetics. As far as I go, so let's go. Sorry. Devore actually chimes in saying yes, double black mash imperial stout is a fucking banger at 12%. So
Session IPA.
Good night's sleep for Devore tonight. Remy laughing, cackling, post that all in the US, I don't know. And yeah, the bit of Jackus. And says Doug Hesselman says, I once sent a beer mail to Ohio and a receiver didn't receive it at home. He had to pick it up in the post office and the box is already opened. Luckily, he received it complete. And then he follows up with that saying, is that normal in the United States? That's actually not normal in the United States. I'm guessing it was opened at customs and that what happened is that maybe the box is too big for his mailbox. And then post office is like, you got to come get it. So the assumption was that's almost certainly what happened. Because if you live in like a non-rural, like an urban area, non-rural area, and you have a box in your apartment, or even let's say you live in a semi-rural area, but it's kind of busy and your mailbox is relatively small, they don't want to leave it out in case someone's going to steal it. So they'll actually put a note saying, hey, we got a package for you. Come and get it. I think the act that it was actually opened at the local post office is secondary because local post office really won't fuck with anything. When it comes through customs, they might open it. The local post office might refuse delivery if it's broken and they see leakage, but they won't go, oh, it's leaking. Let me open it up and see what's inside of it. They would just go, this is damaged. We got to send it back to the main hub. So it's more so that I think two things happened that have no correlation to each other that just seem like they were kind of associated with each other. So that's probably what happened. Almost certainly that's probably what happened. Because honestly, the post office don't give a shit. You know what I mean? Like, you're not supposed to be able to send like beer in the mail. You're not supposed to be able to send it's illegal technically to send beer in mail in the United States via the United States Postal Service, but they just don't give a fuck. They just don't care. Even some of the carriers like UPS, like UPS is you can send beer via UPS, but it has to be like under a certain guideline, a certain service. Like you actually have to pay extra. So, for example, if I get beer from like a big brewery, like a legitimate big brewery, like a Avery or Lagunitas, it actually has stamped on the side like contains alcohol only delivered and it contains alcohol only delivered to people over 21 because they're a big huge corporation. They can't afford to get pinched for illegal mailing. so they
Yeah,
have they have to go buy all the books. But then like smaller breweries don't give a shit. Like they'll just mail it and they don't care, you know. And when the ones that mail it, they don't care. Sometimes they'll use UPS, but it doesn't have. You can tell when it doesn't have that added service. And like there's been times where I'll hold the box at UPS. So like for example, if I'm out and I know I'm not gonna be home and it's gonna sit on my porch, or I don't want it sitting in the sun, or yada yada yada, I'll be like, I can click a button, and that way it never gets it on a truck, and then it just stays in the facility. And I'll go pick it up, and I'll go and pick it up, and the people there will be like, so hopefully it's something good, and I'll be like, yeah, it's beer, and they'll go, I wish I got that kind of mail, you know, like they don't even care.
Yeah.
So,
Nah, it's weird here as well. We got like there's a courier that sends some stuff every now and then, or a web shop sends some stuff every now and then through a courier that basically demands a signature. So I get most of my beer mail at work because it's easier. There's nobody here during the day, so I get all my stuff at work usually. They don't send at work because they've had issues with sending alcohol to work, blah, 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 blah. And then there's the Dutch Postal Service, and basically you can have like a big ass box and it says the entire brewery logo and beer brewery and whatever on it, and they'll just drop it off at your place and go like, yeah, whatever. I mean, basically, technically, according to law, you can't give any parcel that contains alcohol to a minor because, you know, it's easy for minors to get alcohol that way. And they'll just drop it off, no questions asked. So it's like, yeah, we know we can't, but fuck it.
yeah.
Money's money, right? Money's money.
So this is probably like some like head swell. This is probably one of the more kind of like head swelling, like egotistical things that has ever happened to me from doing beer reviews. And Lisa will attest to this because she's the one I actually observed it, not me. Is that like during the winter months? So probably once you get towards the end of November, up until Christmas, UPS and FedEx take on helpers. So like usually it's just one delivery guy. Well, they'll actually pair people up, and they'll kind of double team the area. Like they'll I did it a couple times when I was like 16, 17 years old. So they have a helper. And they add extra drivers to the area too. So I'm not sure if it was a helper or an extra driver, but in November of this past year, I got a beer mail, and the guy's like came to the door, rang it, and he gives it to my wife, and he's like, "Can I ask you a question?" And she's like, "What?" She's like, "Does Matt from Massa Beers live here?" And she's like, "Yeah." And then he turned around and went to the guy that was with him. He's like, "I told you so." You know what I mean? And then went back in the truck and drove away.
That's
story.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hello.
What's going
Hello,
on,
Larry?
Howdy.
Yeah.
All right.
Those are headphones, dude.
Yeah.
They're headphones.
Those are headphones.
They're beautiful. They're gorgeous.
I didn't
and
know
think
if you were
they're-
wearing headphones, but just so you know, you're wearing headphones right now.
Yeah, but
Definitely wearing headphones.
you have to realize he's from the UK and everything's cold there, so they're not just headphones. They're, you know, keeping his ears
Yeah.
warm. They're,
They are
no.
definitely
Yeah,
warm.
well, I think Princess Leia is upset. Her buttons are
I think they're sexy. I think they're gorgeous.
They probably are mad comfy and sound awesome, but that's all that
Yeah.
matters.
Hell yeah.
They're really warm as well, though. Just
How
crack
you
got
making
the,
that, man? Oh, that's a cool can.
Yeah, it's one pint can as well. This brewery, Arbor, always insist upon doing pint cans.
That is one hell of a big pint.
Yeah, it's a pint. So
It's a
What-
pint.
what-
No, I mean, big can. Sorry, it's big can. That's a big, yeah.
So what's the typical can size in England? Then it's a little bit smaller. than mine, right?
440, which is I don't know what a 440 ml is in ounces, but
16,
yeah.
right?
Sounds about right. Yeah.
Okay, see, in the United States, we classify 16 ounces as a pint.
Let's say
1 pint.
440 mil
One-
to.
Well,
One pint
Here's
is-
an American pint glass.
473 milliliters.
Yeah,
So-
440 is 14.8 fluid ounces.
So it's a little less than a pint.
So what
Yeah.
is that? That's, how many ounces would that be? So you're talking about a pint? Was it 20 ounces?
This
Or
is
it less than that?
568 mil. Is this?
Maybe it's
Proper-
those like
proper size.
11. Was it like 11.9 ounce cans or whatever they are?
330s, you mean?
19.2.
Yeah. Oh,
it's
the
like
stove,
it's-
the
proper.
stovetop cans.
yeah, stovepipe cans. We call those stovepipes over here.
Right. Or do you guys? Because are stovepipes still used a lot in the U.S. Because even what are called Oscar Blues stopped using the stovepipes, right?
No, they still use them.
They do. Because a while ago we got the barrel aged 1050 in 330.
Ooh.
Well, they
Cans.
should do that. They should do that. You know what I mean?
And-
Like
So-
they should be putting Dale's Pale Ale on a fucking stovepipe. Not
No, but even it was so well priced though, because the stovepipes are generally speaking around 20, 25 euros. No,
Yeah.
I'm exaggerating. Maybe like 20 euros, and the 330 was 7 euros. That's a
Rarely-
huge difference.
Rarely does a brewery over here use a stovepipe can unless they're like a relatively big brewery. Actually, a lot of the larger like macro breweries have started putting stuff in the stovepipe cans, like Bud and Coors and stuff like that. But outside of them, like Lagunitas does a ton of stovepipe stuff. Sierra Nevada does it. Like a lot of the Bell's founders, all those breweries do. Like they take their flagship beer, whether it be 60-minute IPA or Lagunitas IPA or whatever their best selling beer is, they crank them out in stovepipes. Constantly. So like if we go into a bottle shop around here, typically there's, a cooler with a bunch of different beer, macro shit, craft shit, all that stuff. And usually there's a cooler door full of just stovepipes.
Wow.
Yeah. So you'll have like, 30, 40 different stovepipes.
And Founders does the stovepipes for their flagships.
Yeah. For 60, what is it? All day IPA.
Look, man, don't want to get into the politics with Founders right now, but I'm just saying I wouldn't mind crushing a KBS stovepipe, really.
No,
CBS though.
No, other than Oscar Blues, nobody puts those big, huge beers. I'm sure somebody else does, but as far as I've seen, no one does those big, huge beers in the stovepipes. Actually, the best part is most of the breweries over here have been putting barrel-aged beers in these little itty-bitty jammers. Like these tiny little, look at that thing, man.
We have them as well.
Yeah, I
Absolutely,
love getting barrel-aged beers in these things, man.
Yeah.
This is the perfect size for a barrel-aged
See,
beer.
like
It is.
I said, I'd rather have this size and then the 250s, like so you can have like a pint or a half. I think that's the best way to run it.
Yeah.
I do have a question for Harry, by the way, though. But the beer you're drinking, man, does it smell and taste like dirty barrels?
No, it doesn't. My hands like smell like chlorine because the amount of cleaning I've done. Yeah, no, that was not fun.
You had a long day today, huh?
Yeah, man. Oof.
Yeah.
And what's
Did
your
not
role?
look like fun.
What's your role at the brewery right now? If you're to classify, like,
So because we're obviously we're still under lockdown, so half the people are here. Normally there would be 15 people on site. At the moment, there was 5, and we've gone up to 7. So we've brought the head brewer back. He's come back and he's been brewing. So normally that would have been my role, and I'd be brewing all the time whilst he's been on furlough. But what the idea was that I was supposed to be hasn't happened at all. But like he was supposed to be brewing, and I'd be moved over to the distillery side, and I'd be distilling, he'd be brewing. But what's ended up happening is I'm racking constantly, so I'm just constantly filling barrels, and it's fine. But the problem is because we haven't filled any barrels for like 3-4 months. Every single barrel we get back is just filthy. It's just been sitting in a nice warm sun and getting baked on and smelling wonderful.
now what do you reuse your barrels for? Let me ask you.
So
that.
we have cask is
Okay, cask barrel. Okay.
Yeah.
So
we
you use chemical and steam, or you just chemical clean them?
Yeah, chemical and steam.
Okay.
So we do a water rinse first. We'll de-shive, de-keystone, de-label, water rinse, and then water again, then hot caustic, water rinse, and then steam. And then out of it, we have a barrel washer that does 4 barrels at a time. And out of that, normally we're getting like 1 or 2 which will go through the system and I can fill, and then the rest are just getting chucked off. So it's taking me like hours and hours and hours to get even like an acceptable amount of casks to use.
I've always been curious about how the cask system worked as far as that end goes in angling, because it's such a big part, and because barrels, to reuse them, you know what I mean, like unless you're going to do something specific as far as sour or wild or stuff like that, after you use a barrel a couple times you really can't use it. But obviously cask ale is being used over and over again. Do you see a big disparity between, like, is it a lot like a lot of breweries don't take care of their casks, so their cask ale is shit?
Not too much. I think there are problems with cask ale, but I'll get into them. But like, there's never really an issue in terms of cask. Well, there's always a little bit of an issue with cask cleanliness, and now 9 times out of 10 because someone's missed it because they haven't done a check on that cask. Now, one of the things we do, and I've always done in different breweries I've worked for, is do an ATP check, and basically measures the amount of bacteria inside your cask, and if there's any living bacteria inside. Basically, we had to be beneath a certain number, same as hospitals, so it's as clean as a hospital inside the cask.
Yeah.
And because someone's going to drink it, so 9 times out of 10, if the brewery's got that system in place, then they'll be fine. But a lot of breweries won't, and they'll just do it by eye and check it and hope for the best. But it's a little bit of like your own pride in your product that you've got. And I think most places would just have a system of just rejecting casks because they're too dirty. The problem that we do tend to find, though, is that barrels go missing all the time. Because you drop barrels to loads of different pubs. I think our sales list is probably about 700-800 different pubs and customers, and they just you drop them off, and you've got to go and pick them up afterwards. If you don't pick them up, then someone else will pick them up, or someone will try and turn them into a barbecue or something like that.
Yeah.
And that happens a lot. The amount of casks that we have go missing is worrying. We've got about 1,800 casks in the system in the UK, and in our storage at the moment, during lockdown, we managed to recover about 1,000. So there's like 700 in the abyss somewhere, and that's every single cask is about £80 per cask. So it's a load.
I was about to ask, because those things can't be cheap.
They're not. It's loads of money just gone.
In the United States, we actually see a lot of like bars in like places like that that'll actually go on like eBay or Craigslist and start selling other.
Yeah.
Like be like, dude, you're selling my property. You know what I mean? Like you can't do that. And they just like, oh no. Once they have it in their house, they're like, it's mine. I can do whatever I want with it. It's like, no, that's not the case.
So we do have a thing over here called Keg Watch. It's not brilliant towards brewers, but basically, if your barrel gets uplifted or gets taken by another brewery or another company, typically ours get taken by Marston's, which is a massive company, of course, but now owned by Carlsberg as well, because our barrel is the similar colour, slightly different pattern on the barrel, but a similar colour, and they just uplift it without looking at things and take it for themselves, and then realise, oh no, we've got the wrong barrel, so then we have to put it to Keg Watch. They send it off to Keg Watch, and then we have to pay a fee per barrel. Because Keg Watch have it, and we're like, you could have told us first, but no, just tell Keg Watch. So then we have to pay. I can't remember what the fee is, but normally we have around about 100 or something sitting at Keg Watch in one of the local depots, and we just have to pay that fee, and then they send a couple of vans over to come and drop the barrels off. And so you just have to be shit hot every single time you go and drop to a pub. You have to pick up the empties, no matter if you don't have space. Like today, I took probably about 20 barrels out, which is heavy, in the van, and then have a couple of cases as well. And then sometimes if somewhere's got 6 empties or something, you just have to chuck them in on top of stuff and pray. The nothing breaks.
How big is the brewery you work at?
So we're a 30-barrel brewery, but we've also got a distillery attached as well. So we do, at the moment, distillery we're about 75% capacity. We do 2,000 bottles a week to Waitrose, to a supermarket chain over here in the UK. But then on the side of that, I'd probably say about 300-400 bottles to independent stores. And then a big part of our game at the moment is sanitizer. We do loads and loads of sanitizer spray. That's making a massive part of our market. We do a lot of export as well to Sweden because we're owned by a Swedish company. But yeah, 30 barrels. So 30-barrel brewery is 5,000 litre per batch.
What was the on the beer side of things? What percentage of beer was canned and bottled versus kegged? Before all this.
Before all this, I'd say before all this, it'd probably be about 20% was bottled. We only canned, since I came in, we've only canned 4 different beers now, because the problem with our kit is we don't have facility to do canning on our own site. And we also don't have, our vessels won't take pressure. They only take 0.5 bar, and to can you need 1.5 bar. So we have to send all our beer in Arlington tanks, which is basically like a giant bag inside a box. Mm-hmm. You have to send it in then off to a canning company, and then they can it for you. So we send. I think last one we did was the milk stout around about Christmas, just before Christmas, and we did, I think, probably about 2,000 litres of that, got it sent off. But generally we do bottle, at the moment it's just bottling like mad, but it's...
And that was basically my question, like you were at 20-25% before all this. What are you at? How much of it is keg versus can now?
Because pubs have just opened this week, well, we're just opening tomorrow.
That's 6 a.m. by the way.
At 6 a.m. It's going to be chaos by 9 a.m. But yeah, so because the past couple of weeks, it's been, I think we saw about 83% was the highest.
Wow!
In terms of bottles. So we with our bottles, we don't actually bottle on site. We send them up in a tanker, and they get sent up in a tanker to Dudley, which is about 100 odd miles away, and they bottle it all for us.
So you actually had less work but more overhead, basically. You had to, which would have been, if you had on-site bottling, it would have been like, okay, you can't brew now, but we'll take you over, come over here and bottle. You're good to go. But in your case, from what I gleaned, is basically you were low man on the brewing totem pole, so you were kind of pushed off to the side that they could start bringing you back on, and other people got brought back on before you did. Is that kind of how it worked? Which makes sense. I mean,
I've been working all the way through.
Okay.
So yeah, I've been working all the way through, possibly because I'm cheaper labour, but but I've been working all the way through because at first one of the lads went off he actually got COVID, so they brought me back on. So I was only off for like 2 days, 3 days, and then
you're lucky.
I got brought back on. So I was put in immediately into his role, which was driving, and that's part of my job anyway. And then after a couple of weeks of driving, we managed to get another guy from another part of the company, because we're quite a large. It's weird. We're like a brewery and estates. We have a couple of pubs and things like that. So people have been jumping from role to role. So we had one of the guys from the pub who's just basically been drawn over and said, "Oh, you go and do deliveries now." So it enabled me to do all the brewing. We had basically just 5 people on site at all times. Operations guy just managing everything. 2 salespeople. 1 chap who didn't even work mainly for us before. He was actually working for the engineering side of the company, and he came on the distillery, and then I was brewing. So I think I brewed about 80,000 litres of beer during lockdown, and then was basically just told, "Oh no, we're getting the new brew, or the old head brewer came back like 2 weeks ago." So, and it's just been constant mad brewing since then. I think we've brewed 3 a week, so about 30,000 litres worth of beer in the past. Yeah. Yeah, and it's already run out, so it's nuts.
What how do you guys view both Thomas and Harry? Like how do you view like the whole COVID thing? At least maybe it does not necessarily be beer related, but like how do you view the way things have changed in your own area versus can you see a difference in the United States? And by that I mean like especially coming from a beer standpoint, you guys get a lot of imports. You guys have a lot of like different beers coming in from different breweries in the United States. You have some beers coming out. It's very few and far between because of the amount of production that Europe and England more specifically kind of does. Like, have you seen a stark change in what you receive and what you get and what gets put out? And conversely, like, do you actually see like, do you view American beer culture differently during COVID? Like, is it like you're like, wow, these people are assholes? And I mean, we're Americans, so that's granted. But it's also like, do you see like any kind of change during all this, or is it more like you're focused hyper locally on like what you guys are doing, and you're not really paying attention to what everybody else is doing? It's kind of a loaded question, kind of a random question.
Well, purely if we're going to start talking about, well, let's do the beer thing first. When it comes to the imports, nothing really changed. I can get my American beers, I can get my British beers, I can get my Slovenian beers, I can get my Polish beers, I can get everything as easily as I could 6 months ago. So when it comes to that, nothing changed. What I do know is that in terms of interest, because of the focus on, is that, yeah, people started really focusing on local brews. And you have to realize, though, that the Netherlands, we're as amazing as we are, we're great, but we're not huge.
It's
pronounced local.
Huge, by the way, not huge.
Huge.
Yeah, there you go.
Huge.
Okay, you got it.
Yeah, I got it. It's everything's local. I mean, basically any Dutch beer will be considered a local beer. Sure, when I just mentioned the can I had when we started, that was local because it's a 20-minute drive for me, but I'll consider almost everything local because there's states in America that are bigger than our country. Having said that, in the last week or two, I think that with the restrictions lessening over here, that the focus is going a little bit more towards, yeah, okay, I've been really focusing on Dutch breweries, but let's go back towards, I like my American stuff. I like my Cloudwater IPAs. I like my brewery stouts. I like my Omnipolo weird eight words in the name beers, stuff like that. So it's shifting a little bit now. So when it comes to the beer world, that's that part of it, and when it comes to the rest of it is when it comes to protest and the political stuff. Look, you just made the crack about how weird Americans are when it comes to that, and sure, maybe you guys are a little bit more beyond when compared to us, but dude, we've got a few doozies going on here, and it's been weird, it's been odd, and I work in a store. And it's so weird. In the last few weeks, what I've been hearing so much is when I ask people to make sure that they keep 6 foot distance in the store where I work, they're like, oh, right, I completely forgot. Like, how do you fucking forget the fact that there's a pandemic going on, and about every 5 freaking minutes you turn your head and there's an advert somewhere explaining to you that you need to keep social distancing real? But no, I forgot. Whatever.
No, dude, it's not like that over here, dude. It's like if it was like that, we would actually, because that subtle like douchebaggy sarcasm thing, it would be way better. So there, like by us, there's like a little food stand by where I live. It's called Hot Dog Johnny's. They make hot dogs, American hot dogs. They're relatively well known. Like I've seen people on TV shows wear their T-shirts. Like people love Hot Dog Johnny's. Like, and my wife and my mother-in-law love them. And it's like 10 minutes away from my house. Every now and then I go there. So I went there to go pick up food for them. And there wasn't a lot of people there, but there was some dude there getting stuff, and like he was literally waiting in line in front of me, like, and he turned around and just started saying it out loud, going, "Look at all these fucking assholes wearing masks like these fucking pieces of shit. Fuck these people. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about." And took his food and left. I'm like, he wasn't provoked. No one was having a conversation with him. He just felt the need to proclaim about how idiotic and douchebaggy people wearing masks were.
Hell, fuck yes.
Yeah, that's what it's like over here, dude. Like it's
I had somebody. It's so fucked up. I had somebody in the store today. We're encouraging everybody to use your card, right? Please use your debit card. We don't do credit cards as much. We have debit cards. It's like use your card, use your card, use your card. And it was a small amount, and she was like, "I would like to pay," because we're not saying you can't pay with cash. We just would prefer to. She put the 2.5 euros on the counter, and she was like, "You can leave them there for 24 hours if you like."
Fucking hell. Oh man.
There's a
like how can I just say something real quick?
Yeah.
I like how innocent everything Thomas is saying.
Yeah.
Like compared to the shit that's going on here, like
Oh yeah.
Like,
the stuff you're saying is like so innocent.
I know
Like,
it is innocent. I know it is innocent, but I also know why it's innocent, and I could go into a 2-hour lecture that would put Kyle, to shame when he's a teacher. I could explain exactly to you why for us this sounds small and petty and tiny, and why it's huge for you guys. But we're not going to do that right here because we're going to talk about beers. But holy shit, could I tell you why though?
The best part, Keith, is that like when I made this live stream and I made a thumbnail for it, like I seriously wanted to make like a Team America World Police thing for it, like you know what I mean? Just because about movie. But yeah, because it's fucking like nightmare fuel. But fucking like there's like our local TV stations, like the one up in Pennsylvania that is like very popular. Like, dude, they posted an article. It was legitimately an article about like fact versus fiction. Like what about masks? What masks do? How they help? How they don't help? And it was literally just a link. It was a link article about. This is what masks do, like based off of like papers from people from Princeton and Oxford and all, like, and that's all it was. And it was, about like misinformation versus real information. And it wasn't like a biased article. It was like literally linking like peer-reviewed results of legitimacy. And it actually had in it about like a couple articles about like fake news and fake articles about how you shouldn't, like, don't believe those things, really trust your sources, and how there's a rampant groundswell of misinformation. The whole comment section is just people being like, "Oh no, that's wrong, that's right, this is wrong, this is right," like of like just people like linking to Joe Rogan on YouTube or fucking whatever, like crazy shit. That doesn't mean it's like the article's like, listen to science, don't listen to crazy wackadoos. And every comment was like, "Oh, this article's wrong because my crazy wackadoo says this." And it's like, it's the most beautiful thing ever.
I have people around me that are going like, "Yeah, I know that the government and the health organizations are saying this and this and this, but in my opinion," and I'm very sorry, but if you recognize yourself in the fact that you want to say "in my opinion," you need to shut the F up. You don't get to have an opinion. You did not spend, I don't know how many freaking years, 4 or 5 years in college and university, getting a medical degree, working your freaking ass off for 10 years. I don't know how freaking long to have an opinion about this bullshit when people who did that do know what they're talking about.
You're fucking wrong. You're fucking wrong. No. Every single person is 1,000,000% entitled to their opinion.
You're entitled to an opinion, but
the problem is that people have taken expertise, and legitimate like stuff and leveled it with opinion.
That's what I mean. You don't get to have an opinion if you don't know what you're talking about.
And I could say purple is red.
Yeah.
This is purple. I'm wearing purple right now. That's my opinion. My opinion is, and you'd be like, that's cool, dude. You can say that, but it's not. The fact is, the color swatch, the Pantone color that Arsenal uses is red. We're sorry they believe it's purple, but it's factually it's red. We'll bring on this guy who's an actual color scientist from fucking Pantone.edu that fucking can tell you that legitimately the color scheme is red.
Yeah, but maybe I'm a little bit militant when it comes to that. But when as soon as somebody when you're talking about a color, I get you. I'm not angry, by the way, just so you know. I'm just enthusiastic.
No, we're talking about the same thing. My point is that people are taking expertise and diminishing expert analysis and thought on stuff as an opinion, and that's
exactly.
No, that's dangerous. Scary. It's fucking dangerous.
It is beyond, and especially in this day and age. I mean, I do not approve of censorship. But there have been moments in the last few months where I've been looking around and thinking, maybe, just maybe.
No.
You know what I mean?
Well, no. See, the thing is that it's kind of like in the United States, there's a big argument. The biggest argument that happens in the United States, it's been going on for a while, but it's come to a head way more over the past several months, is that freedom of speech. Okay. Oh, yeah. And people misunderstand the idea of freedom of speech. Freedom of speech is a protection of speech from persecution of your government. And that is basically saying, like, if I went in my corner of my yard and I started saying heinous shit, whether it be racially heinous stuff, negative stuff about, LGBTQ, all that kind of stuff, like I'm not going to jail. If I scream it and I'm throwing shit and I'm causing a scene, I might get arrested because I'm being an asshole. I could be saying fucking movie titles and I could be doing the same shit and get arrested. You know what I mean? It has nothing to do with the words that are coming out of my mouth. But if I stand there and say those heinous, horrible things coming out of my mouth, I'm not going to jail. That's freedom of speech. That doesn't protect me from somebody punching me in the fucking face when I deserve it. You know what I mean? So like a lot of people like, well, this person did this, but that person punched him in the face. He has freedom of speech. I'm like, no, that's not freedom of speech. That dude deserves to get punched in the face because he's a piece of shit. You know what I mean? Now, you could be a racist, bigoted asshole and think that's wrong, and you can say that, but then you can get punched in the face again. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. Like, it's like freedom of speech. Being a good person is not hard. Being a bad person is not hard. The problem is there's a lot of people that think being a good person is wrong, and being a bad person is right. And freedom of speech means you can punch that person in the face. I don't know what else to fucking say.
Can I just say two things?
Yeah. No, you can say more than two things, Keith.
Yeah, people.
That was sweet. Okay, next up, we're going
to. The dynamic here, this is mostly for Harry and Thomas, but the dynamic here is people tend to conflate freedom of speech with freedom to avoid consequence. So like you can say whatever you want and there's no consequence, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which is not. My second thing is I want to know what beer Thomas is drinking.
I'll tell you about the beer. If I can also, I have a theory. I have a theory, and maybe you guys are gonna go look at me and like that. You're an idiot. I'll show you the beer. It's I love speaking Dutch to you guys. So the beer that I have here is Brouwerij Stollenberg Duivelsburgt barley wine uit Bergendal. It's a barley wine. It's a 9.4% barley wine. It's very dangerously close to old school Russian Imperial Stout. Really got that.
9.4% barley wine?
Yeah.
Session barley wine.
Yeah. Why do you think I'm drinking it? It's sessionable. That's why I'm drinking it. It's sub 10%. That's why it's okay to drink this right now. This is good. I had a few bottles of this. I still have one that I want to save for a little bit. It's nice. It's good. It's a great sort of chocolate. Matt, Sugar Daddies. That's like chocolate raisins, right?
No. No, sugar
What
daddy.
is-
That's right. You're talking. That's Raisinets.
Raisinets. What's a
Sugar daddy. Sugar daddy's a candy bar. You get here in the States. It's kind of like think about taffy, but taffy made of nougat and what would it be? Nougat and like caramel, nougaty. In the United States, you get this bar. It's called Sugar Daddy. Okay, it's basically a stick, and it's got a rectangle end to it,
Mhm.
and you pull it off, and it's like taffy like in texture,
Mhm.
but it tastes like peanut butter, toffee, caramel, figgy kind of mixture. If you've never had one, it's kind of hard to explain. 'Cause
No, I think I sort of it sounds great, and I want like a box of it. Now I think this is sort of more towards the raisinette, but with a little bit of that sugar daddy.
Yeah.
It's got a bit of the caramelly nugget thing, but it's got a lot of the raisinette things going on. It's very dark. I love it. It's a great, pretty local barley wine.
Yeah, Raisinets is like if you ever had prune juice, take out the bittering, and then add milk chocolate. So like, if you had like Raisinets are basically milk chocolate covered raisins. The raisins are prunes and then when prunes become raisins, they lose the bittering and the kind of whatever. And then you have instead of like a baker's chocolate, like semi-sweet chocolate, it's like a milk chocolate. So that's kind of like your raisinette thing.
Yeah, that's basically what this is.
No, actually, you know what?
gorgeous.
Here's the perfect thing. Actually, and I don't know why I didn't say this before. You know what it tastes like? Awesome.
Yeah.
What's this bag? It's awesome. Awesome sauce.
Yeah, it smells like delicious and tastes like awesome. I mean, that's
Exactly.
It's called descriptors. It's called
And
yeah.
and you just broke
I
on
think
tap.
it's actually I think that's literally a chapter in the BJCP guidelines fucking testing.
Totally should be.
Yeah,
Totally should be. You know, look, man, I got this theory, man. I got this theory, and it's gonna sound a bit weird, but when it comes to the situation, when I'm looking at what's going on in America and everything right now in the United States, the United States is hitting puberty.
Yeah.
And that might sound weird, but I remember this is years ago. My then girlfriend was following this YouTube channel, and these guys were amazed by the fact they were in the Netherlands, and they were amazed by the fact that you got buildings here that is like they're like more than 400 or 500 years old, and that's insane. How do you do that? Because we've been around for quite a while. Europe's been doing their thing for several thousand years, and not just Europe. You got the rest of the world. You got like your Arabic countries, and culture and history has been building there. And now you look at the United States, and when you look at how old the United States is as the United States, you know, you guys are hitting puberty. And there's always things going on like, no, I know better, and I know what I want to do, and this is how I want it, and I don't want to listen to your rules, and I'm so sick and tired of it, and I know what I do because I'm old enough to do what I want to do.
Sounds like Donald Trump.
And there you go. And I don't want to be an asshole to United States viewers, because I'm not generalizing everybody like that, because I have been in conversations with plenty of residents from the United States that have shown very, very mature behavior and composure, except when they have mustaches like Keith.
Well, I mean, that's pornographic. We should be on porn right now, really. But I want to say one thing about in retort to you, Thomas. Or Tomas. I'm going to refer to you, Tomas.
Tomas.
I am far, and I'm not the rah-rah American guy.
I know you're not.
But I will say this. Your basic whole argument was you've been around longer. So, and I think Harry's going to shake his head during this whole thing. So longer doesn't mean you're awesome. So there's so many shit pubs and brew pubs that have been around for 30 years and make shit beer.
Oh yeah.
But they've been around for 30 years because they've just been around forever and they've been there longer and they've been there. So it's like, you know, in the United States, we have all these like small mom and pop places that are way too afraid to expand their horizons, that are just okay with making a fucking meat pie and a fucking porter, and that's all they'll make, and they'll be okay with it, and that's all that matters. Then you have the new school.
But I never said
the the Equilibriums of the world, the other halves of the world, the fucking all those new school breweries that are not only fantastic but new and excellent and excelling. So, and I'm not saying American is better than anybody else. That's not my argument. But age does not dictate wisdom.
And I'm not saying that's not what I said though. That's not what I said because
but your whole point is that America is a baby.
No, I said you were hitting puberty, and here's the different part.
Or puberty, it doesn't matter. Puberty, baby, it's still the same argument.
Because adults also don't know what they're doing. Because Europe is we're the adults here, but you know what's going on right here. We're the adults that have no clue what to do because our countries in Europe we're all following different guidelines, and we're all arguing amongst ourselves like, no, we know what to do, and the other adult countries going, no, we know what to do. And then the other adult countries going like, no, you guys are wrong. This is the best approach. So maybe I'm saying we're around longer, but we're screwing up just as much.
No, but here's the thing. Again, I'm taking this from a distance because I don't know for sure because I don't live where you guys live. Mm-hmm. It sounds like you guys have an argument between each other and you're actually like, oh, we should do this, we should do that. And I understand there's always the outliers to the conversation. But it seems like when you decide on a path that you're kind of like, okay, we should do this, that a good portion of the country just goes, okay, let's do this and see what happens. Whereas in the United States, we go, we should do this. And then like 80% of the country is like, fuck you. I'm going to smoke cigarettes while fucking kissing anybody I can fucking see. You could suck your ass. Like, that's the thing. Like, our government will say, be like, I think this is the safest thing we could possibly do. And there's a vast majority of the United States goes, yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do the whole opposite because you told me to do that.
You know what? Fuck it. I was wrong. We're totally the same.
Yeah.
We're totally the same. When you put it like that, we are totally the same.
There's always two sides of an argument, and there's always 50.
Of course there is. Absolutely, because like I'm saying, I know that my comments were a bit douchebaggery because it sounded. I know I'm well aware that it sounded a little bit on the offensive, and I didn't mean it like that. But we have been fucking up on a huge scale in Europe as well. Just fun fact: in the period where Germany's infection numbers were loads higher than the Netherlands, our death rate was higher. In a country that has a lot smaller population, which basically comes down to the point, something that Trump has been saying, we didn't test. We hardly tested anything because it looked better. We're fucking up just as much, and none of our countries here in Europe really know what to do, and we're all, instead of focusing on what we should be doing, we're commenting on what the other countries are doing wrong.
Yeah. The UK did that for a bit as well, in terms of there were so many people we didn't test for COVID. And then, like now, like I think it's a couple of 3-4 weeks ago, they started doing like mandatory tests for, well, you know, if you ask for a test, you can get it. And they're like, oh, the numbers have jumped up. It's like, because you're testing more people. That's why. That's why. And I just can't. I don't understand, because my girlfriend, she's coming back soon because everything's fucked. She's in Hong Kong, and as soon as she got back in March, they had, okay, I don't agree with anything that's going on in Hong Kong right now, but it was safer for the people to an extent. In terms of, she flew back there, she got given a wristband and an app downloaded onto her phone, and the app would basically say, tracked her all around her flat where she was, made sure that she didn't leave her own room in her flat. It's a little bit creepy this way, but like didn't make her leave her room in her flat at all, and then basically had an alarm. She had to keep checking it, make sure that she spent her time, her 2 weeks that she had to do away from any other family member. She was getting meals and everything supplied to her from the family, put through the door, and that was it. And then after 2 weeks, there was no signs of COVID, let back in, and they had 1 death per week. And like over here, it's just thousands. Well, it was nearly 1,000 at one day, and it's just It's nuts.
Do you know what the total is over there?
Last I saw, which was weeks ago, was 42,000 deaths.
How?
That's why we're number one. We got almost 100,000 more than that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's what is it now? It's
geez.
44,000.
That was a joke, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
You're a big
let's
country.
actually go to comments for a bit. Try to break away from this because we're not trying to talk about this stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It's all happy talk.
yeah.
This is-
Doug says hello, Harry, but he follows up with big man wearing his Liquid Light T-shirt, son. Yeah, so you have that going on. Ross Stewart was actually asking about my St. Aaron beer here right there, and I followed it up with like a hell yes. St. Aaron is killer. Let's see. We have Matthias Kremes.
Matthijs.
Yeah. What's up? Greets from Netherlands. Ross Stewart chiming in. Ross Stewart, yeah, no, they heard whatever. Oh, I think that's when we were talking about the other beers. Yeah, we have people. Oh, look at this praise. Matt, you're probably my favorite beer tuber. Say what, son? However, do you ever think about pushing out a video or two out a day of? I know what he's talking about. I actually stress over this shit actually every now and then. What I think he's talking about is that I take all my beer reviews and I put them in a queue and I put them out almost like when I review them. So like a beer comes out, it might take 2 or 3 weeks for that beer review to hit the channel. I try to do ones every now and then that are like up to date. Like I did a Source beer review. I think I posted it like 3 days ago and it came out 2 days prior. I try to do that. Like I'll get a beer that just came out and then try to put it out, but it's hard sometimes. I mean, these guys can actually agree and attest to that. It's sometimes when you have a little bit of a backlog and you kind of just, sometimes you review a beer and you just want to push it out, and you're like, okay, this is a fun review. I really want people to know about it, stuff like that. So I do think about that. And I should probably focus a little bit more on that. But on the other spectrum, like a good portion of the beers that I review come from viewers. So I get a beer from fucking Montana. I have no idea about the brewery when it was released. I don't know when it came out. Like, should I put it out now or should I put it out later? That kind of thing. So yeah, no, I try. It is what it is. Devor chiming in saying people didn't learn anything from this COVID shit. It's the same in Slovenia. Same everywhere, man. People. Here's this Blue Nose beer review guy. I don't know what the fuck that is. NP Harry sounds like a radio station on fucking NPR.
Neo-politician.
Yeah. There you go. Hesselman's chiming in. People nowadays are thinking they are experts on everything. And they also think that they're smarter than people who are really educated in a certain matter. That's it. Like people are diminishing the idea of expertise, which is probably one of the most dangerous things that can happen. Like, I'm not saying like take what people say as gospel, but if you ask somebody a astrophysics question and the person who answers it fucking Neil deGrasse Tyson, then you should probably fucking listen. You know what I mean? Like if you're, if your waitress at Denny's gives you a response, you might not want to fucking put that up there on the same level.
Well, I guess it depends. If she says, "Well, I studied for 6 years," I'm gonna go like, "Okay." But if her sentence starts with, "Well, I read a wiki article,"
no. That's the thing, though. That's the thing. You're wrong. You're wrong because if my Denny's waitress said, "If I studied 8 years of astrophysics," and I can answer that, then you shouldn't listen to her because why the fuck are you working at Denny's if you?
Good point, man. That's a good point.
Like that, you had to fail at it. Just because you studied doesn't mean you're good. So if you spent 8 years learning that shit and you're working at Denny's, then I'm not going to listen to anything you fucking said. You know what I mean? Because you made poor life choices.
In the UK, because there's such a saturation in certain like courses and stuff that you do. So, for example, like I did a completely irrelevant subject to what I'm now working.
Exactly.
Yeah. And there's so many people like that in the UK. So there's. What a particularly bad degree to get is something like media, because it means fuck all in the first place. But like then you study that for like 3 years, and then you just work at McDonald's, and that happens so many times.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm saying. I mean, astrophysics is a weird field because in astrophysics, when you study astrophysics, there's a pretty good chance you're going to find a job in astrophysics. Mm-hmm. But there's quite a lot of fields that you're like, I'm going to study this, and then you finish your entire education, and then it turns out that there's like 50. I'm just going to name a number: 50,000 people who study the same thing you did. But apparently there's only 10,000 jobs. Well, look at how fucked you are. But apparently there's jobs at Denny's. So you need money. You're going to take the job at Denny's.
Yeah. Even my course was vocational. And I thought I wanted to do it. I didn't in the end. I really didn't in the end.
He looks like he's making like a sweet stockbroker deal right now. Like he's like talking on the phone, like, yeah, I got to move and shake about 9 shares of this company right now.
No. This is shit. Yeah. I'm trying to think of a porn company name. They're just calling him because they need him for a shoot in like an hour.
It's called Pornhub.
Pornhub. No, I'm talking about a specific studio. Whatever.
Evil Angel.
That's the one.
Harry. Clinton Watts back again saying, I like him, but this poor bastard wouldn't make 5 minutes in New Jersey. In from North Carolina, and even I know that. I don't know who he's talking about.
Probably me.
He's making fun of one of you two guys because
probably me.
Jersey. And then Tiger Fan says, I see Mark Ruffalo is here tonight.
Yeah, but he just been called Ruffalo before, right?
Yeah, he's Mark Ruffalo. He's 93 Lumber, and he's Ron Jeremy, and also Mark Ruffalo at the same time. He's like a special morphing character, and he's back. It's going.
Sorry.
So when does Bang Bros need you?
Yeah.
The
audio and the video is like super choppy, so it was just there's like a dozen people here right now, so I was just trying to make sure that all of them weren't on the internet at the same time.
I know exactly. We had an interview with a brewer a few weeks ago, and during the interview on StreamYard, he had to actually call out to his son, stop gaming, because the connection keeps dropping off.
Okay, I'm gonna take a piss. We'll see you guys in a sec.
Cool.
Da 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 da
Also,
da 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 da. Sorry.
The music. I've also got a bottle of this on the go.
Oof. Ugh.
Yeah.
No.
£4. Can't complain.
For a bottle?
Yeah.
Wait, is that
£4 for one bottle?
750 ml.
Oh,
It's a 50. Wait, you get it in a 50 bill?
750.
Oh, 750. Oh, never mind then. Never mind.
Yeah.
But what do you think of it?
It'll do. That's it. That's it. It's it's complex enough for a supermarket beer, and as a result, I kind of enjoyed it because it's better than why I had a Duvel earlier, and it's just so overrated. It's so overrated.
What the Duvel? The Duvel, you mean?
Yeah, Duvel. Yeah. Just so overrated. I bought it because weirdly enough never reviewed it before, so I thought I'd give it a go. And I was like, it's just my problem with Belgian beer in general is I find it so Belgian Abbey beer is so overcarbonated. I really struggle with it. Mm-hmm. And then like I tried it, was like poured it was just going everywhere, and then it's just a nightmare. But yeah, I drank it and I wasn't the biggest fan of it. I had a Jaipur before, which is the IPA. It's only a month old, considering it's coming out of the supermarket. It's all right. But yeah, the Leffe I just kind of bought because £4 and bomber, or big bomber.
Yeah, it'll get you there, but
it'll sort me out.
It's way too candy, sugary, sweet, and yeah.
Hey, there's so many better brown ales on the market, which I've got plenty of like golden ales and things like that.
Yeah, exactly.
From this Stouser, but yeah, I just haven't.
But then again, £4 for 750, like you said, it ain't bad, and it'll get you there.
Yeah.
for 750, 4 pound. That's what, like 650, 7
yeah, about
American.
that. Yeah, about that.
Yeah, that's awesome for a 750.
Yeah, but it's left but it's.
I mean, I
supermarket
guess
beer,
it depends on what it is, but
Am I going to piss you off if I'm going to tell you that I pay 13 euros for a 750 milliliter brewery Saul from 2017?
Yeah, you are. So shut up.
Keith just actually dropped.
He's like, I'm out. He's like, I'm out. Fuck you. Like, go fuck yourself.
I'm done.
Sorry, that's good. Apparently, I'm pissing him off.
Just to answer, I've just seen Douglas's comment right down the bottom.
Mhm.
I was talking with someone about shipping to Netherlands this morning. We're shipping into Europe, and we're looking at shipping into Europe, but it won't be via the brewery, it'll be via a separate company. So I mean, I can sort something out anyway. If you want some beers, we can sort something out. But I don't know. You probably can't. But you can't buy from. Well, Jim can buy from System Balaga and send it over to you, and that might be cheaper than me send it over to you. But
Then he shouldn't, because Jim's coming over in September.
okay, well that'll be some time. Yeah.
Should be good. Guys, I just quickly wanted to point out, by the way, the entire discussion point we just had. No hard feelings, right? About the entire comments I said.
Oh no, I
it.
fucking hate you now. I want to be friends, and I'll never talk to you ever again because this is all real serious.
But I hate you too,
And,
and that's important. I just wanted to point that out. No snide feelings or anything. It's the beer. It's getting me all emotional.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you have too many session barley wines.
Yeah.
Session barley ones. I was considering opening up an 18% ice distilled imperial stout I have here, but I figured that's pushing. That's
tomorrow night beer.
By the way, are you doing a stream tomorrow?
Yeah. So like I've got one starting which is 8 till 9:30, which is the Standard Craft Beer Monthly, but that will just be like me, Adam, and Peter, possibly. And then from like 9:45 onwards, I'll be doing Hot Fix and Chill, which is just general shittery.
That's your 9:45.
9:45, yeah.
So that's
10:45. You're saying. I say 9:45 loosely. It might be 9:30. We don't know.
I'll keep an eye on it because I'm also considering just drinking shit beer, and I'm not even being sarcastic here because tomorrow's the 4th of July. I was seriously considering just laying on the couch and watching Independence Day with some shit beer and chips, crisps.
I gotta stop you right there. Two things, because it was one thing first. Two things now. One, that you're actually even referencing the word Independence Day is not an American. That's weird. But the best, literally, we have the best comment section going on right now in the history of YouTube. So we have Clinton Watts chiming in. He says, "Greetings from Asbury Park." That's fucking awesome. That doesn't make it awesome. It's Mercy Bear saying, "Are you Bam Bam Bigelow?" Because Bam Bam Bigelow is from Asbury Park. Like, that's my favorite comment ever in YouTube. It's like somebody's from Asbury Park, so they have to be Bam Bam Bigelow. That's my favorite thing ever. Oh my god, I love it so much.
Well,
do you not know who Bam Bam Bigelow is? Am I talking to like a?
No, I have no idea who that is.
I don't even know. I have no idea.
What? Okay, this is fucked up now. He's a wrestler. Bam Bam Bigelow. He's the oh my god. I'm gonna stroke out and kill every one of you right now. I'm gonna fly to wherever you're at and choke you out. I'm live on YouTube because
I love the fact that I could call America a teenager, and that's just like okay. And now that I don't know who a wrestler is, he's gonna freaking go on a plane and kill me.
No, dude.
That is the most American thing I've ever heard.
Dude, no, dude. Listen. You're talking to a person who actually doesn't even like wrestling, and I know who Bam Bam Bigelow is. It's like saying you don't know who Michael Jordan is.
Yeah, but
No, it's
I
not.
like basketball.
No, it is. It
I know who-
straight up is.
I know who Michael Jordan is, though.
Yeah, I do.
Exactly.
I do as
You should
well.
know who fucking Bam Bam Bigelow is.
I bought his
This
shoes.
is-
Yeah, I
I-
bought his
like-
shoes. That's it.
like, I don't even know what to do right now. I'm fucking furious.
How about I read some comments here that are amazing?
Does Bam Bam Bigelow make any shoes? Then I might buy them.
He did wrestling shoes. Wrestling motherfucking shoes. Oh my god.
That was the best comeback.
that was totally. Come on! Oh my god! This is look, Matt. You know what you need to do? You need to scroll up a little bit, and Douglas starts with some comments towards Keith, and we need to kill it because those are amazing. Douglas, after Mercy Beer says, "Oh dear, COVID talk," you need to start getting into some. I love Tiger Fans comment, by the way. Who's gonna bet me that an hour from now that Keith is gonna take off that mustache? Oh god, everybody, it's legitimate right now. We broke Matt.
He's just like reading through the comments.
My favorite part is
those
making
guys.
people laugh without even saying shit. You know what I mean?
It's
Just like I
beautiful,
ran
isn't
into
it? That's it. That's just Oh my god, I love the one where it was Mark Ruffalo starring in a Lifetime movie with Ron Jeremy. That's just I really need this movie right now. But actually, I need the movie where Keith plays Mark Ruffalo playing Ron Jeremy. Oh my god! I think I just woke my neighbors.
So the best part about that comment is like we were literally on a live stream 2 days ago when there was gunshots outside of Thomas's house.
Yeah, that was right.
And
Yeah.
like he's like, I laughed hard. I'm gonna wake up my neighbors. But there was literally like Warzone 2020. Like outside of that, like literal fireworks that sounded like shotgun blasts killing humans. And it was like, yeah, my cackling laugh is gonna wake people, not the fucking Beirut shit happened outside my window.
No, but the thing is, the Beirut shit. That's people are when the Beirut shit happens, people are like, oh yeah, here we go again.
Like,
The laughing. That's the weird part.
Did like Feyenoord win a game or something like that?
So Alex the Beer Master. Is anybody familiar with Alex the Beer Master? I've actually he's commented on my videos. I actually don't know him.
I know he's a regular in the chat.
Yes.
I know.
Yeah, I've seen him pop up.
But this is a beer from Conclave Brewing. They're about 35 minutes away from where I live.
That was the beer that I just drank, actually.
This
Courtesy
is their
of Matt.
Moonwater, which is a 6% IPA. What did you think, Keith? I reviewed this previously, maybe about a year ago. You can go check it out, actually, on my channel. Awesome artwork. It's like some of my favorite artwork when it comes to
I've had it. I've had it before, but I feel like this one maybe I'm not remembering correctly, but I feel like when I had it, the original batch, when they first released it, I thought I want to say that was a little better.
Yeah, this one's more carbonic acid, like a little bit more bittering from the carbonation more than the actual hops or anything like that.
I mean, it's good. Conclave is excellent.
Yeah, Conclave is one of the best breweries in Jersey, let alone everywhere else. So.
Need to try some.
Yeah, no, it's a great. They're small. They're one of the breweries that you're like. They opened a brand new facility. Like their facility was probably about the size of a closet, and then they decided to open a proper tap room and brewery. And by proper, I mean like not like gigantic, but decently sized.
Yeah.
And then like a month later, COVID happened. You know what I mean? So it's like, it is what it is. But they're getting through and they're doing what they could do, and they'll be fine. You know. But
they're good enough where they'll be fine for however long.
Yeah, but it's more like selfish reasons. I'm like, I was gonna spend the summer at fucking Conclave. I was gonna go hang out with their fucking tap room and their fucking outside facility, and it's gonna be great. And I don't get to do that. You know?
Are many bars open, like tap rooms open at all, or is it just like crowlers and stuff like that being sold?
It depends. It depends on the state you live in, because it's pretty much they've rolled it down to individual states at this point. But so in New Jersey, they only allow you to open if you're outside. So if you have an outside facility, you can create one. Like you can actually put like chairs out on the sidewalk. They don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But you just can't go into a place to consume or consume. You can go in to purchase. We can go in and be like, I want to buy these things, but then if the thing you're buying is consumable, you have to leave the facility. And they've been pretty much headstrong about that from the get. A lot of states like Pennsylvania actually opened. This just, I live like a 10-minute car drive away from Pennsylvania. They opened up indoor dining where you can actually go and dine indoor. And pretty much every state has kind of leaned in that direction. Jersey's been like, yeah, we're not going to do any of that shit. We're just going to keep everybody outdoors. And and New Jersey is the only state that has a lowering count of COVID people. Like every other state is spiking. And everybody's like bitching at New Jersey, like open everything up, but they're the only state that's actually lowering.
Well, also I heard that New Jersey is the only, or at least in this area, New Jersey is the only state that isn't doing it county by county, because when this first started happening, like 25% of Pennsylvania was still like,
yeah.
So like people were traveling to other parts of the state just to like do whatever, and I'm sure there were people from Ohio and New York who were like, "Oh, Pennsylvania's open." So
it's one of the weird things that's happened over here. Is like, I don't know about Scotland, but I know pubs in Wales aren't opening up, and it's like normally we're just used to completely free borders, and like, no, you can't go to this country to go and do this. You just get sent back. It's like now we have actually hard borders around the UK, which is completely bizarre. I mean, I can get to Wales. For me, it's probably about an hour and a half to get to Wales, to the border, which is not a border because it's just a road, and there's no physical border there at all. And it's just like, oh no, you can't come in this country because the police will just chase you back out, and you're just not allowed in. But like I think all the bars in Wales, for example, aren't open until maybe another couple of weeks. But in Northern Ireland, they opened up. I think they open at midnight tonight, which says everything about Northern Irish drinking culture.
A little bit.
Yeah.
It's weird hearing it. Go ahead.
No, I just want to say we opened up a few weeks ago with loads of restrictions. And a lot of those restrictions ended 4 days ago, July 1st. So it's easier to go to there's still limitations on the amount of people that can actually be inside. The open terraces at bars and pubs and restaurants are a little bit more open. You need to make reservations if you want to go inside. There's like household limitations. If there's 4 people from one household, that's okay. If it's not from the same household, I think it's a maximum of 2, things like that. And it seems to be going pretty okay. The only big thing is, and that's one of the things that I'm not sure if a lot of people are registering this, is that many people, many owners in gastronomy, that thing, Owners of restaurants and pubs, whatever.
There you go.
There we go. That's what you get when you drink sessionable barley wine.
No, that's what you get when you try to use gastronomy instead of restaurant owners.
The thing is, though, there's a lot of people there going like, okay, fantastic, we can open. That's beautiful. Except for the fact that I have a lot of overhead. And if I open up with all these limitations, I'm spending a lot more money than I'm making. And I might be better off if I just stay closed down for a little bit longer.
Right.
Yeah.
But then again, if you don't open up, all of your steady customers will go to your competition, and by the time you do open up, nobody's coming to your place anymore. So it's a little bit of a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation for a lot of people, and they're struggling to right now. And I know of a few, not personally, but from what I've read, I know of a few pubs and restaurants that either haven't opened at all or opened for a week or two, and basically just said, you know what, that was fun, we're closing again.
No, that's the way we're headed here, and I think that's what Keith was talking about, or what he was going to say.
Well, no, I was gonna. Oh shit. No, I was gonna say in Thomas's defense, we kind of got shitty in like the 40 minutes we were waiting for this to go live.
Yeah, that was fun.
Okay, but here's the one thing that actually. Okay, go ahead. Go, no, Keith. No. Go ahead. Say your shit. But
I was gonna say. As far as like Florida and Texas and the places that have like had a spike in infection, like they were open for a week and then they closed again.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's been insane. It's been.
Well, it's the shopping cart rule. I mean, you guys have probably seen that on social media. Is that like, there's like United States there, when you go to a grocery store or a market, you basically take a cart, go and buy your shit. You go to your car, you unload the cart, you put it in your car, and then there's a place where you put your cart back. And there's a large portion of people that don't put their cart back. They push it off to the side. They don't put it back in the place where it's supposed to be, and that's the rule. Is that like you want to follow these guidelines, but there's so many people that feel like they're below or above or anywhere in between of those rules. They just won't follow them. And in the grand scheme of things, if you followed a certain guideline, everybody adhered to that guideline, everything would be fine. But then you have that sect of human that believes none of it applies to them. They're above it. Oh, everybody else has to do that shit. I don't have to do it. I'm me. I'm way more important than those people. Let those people do it because I don't have to do it. And that's the grand scheme of things when it comes to these kind of things, is that if everybody used common sense and tried to be decent people, everything would be fine. But that's not the case. There's a ton of douchey people.
I think there's a certain...
Go ahead, Harry.
I think there's a certain indoctrination of people across different parts of the world that they must believe what the government or what social people in society must do. In the UK, I know that there are people, like you say, that just don't follow example shopping cart rule. They'll just fucking leave it. They'll just leave it outside. But the majority of people will put it back to where it belongs. So I think a lot of people across Asia, because they've had SARS before, for example, and the swine flu as well, which was going mad throughout the country as well, and they actually will follow the country's rules. I think possibly the states might be a little bit more rebellious, not wanting to say that they're juvenile, but I'm just saying that they are possibly a little bit more rebellious. And I think over here, because I know, for example, in the UK, we haven't been as affected with illnesses or pandemics as Asia has been, but definitely I'm noticing a lot of people over here just very courteous and when worried about rules, and will actually listen to the government a fair bit more. Possibly, I'm only getting bad news or bad news stories from what I'm seeing in the States. That might be the thing, but of what I've seen, they just like don't seem to care at all. Just like
I think a big part of that is, where do you live though? Because I live in despite the fact that apparently I have Beirut level of fireworks outside of my house every now and then, I live in quite a rural community, and the population density is quite low here.
Yeah.
Meaning our infection rates here in where I live are almost non-existent.
Yeah.
Basically meaning, well, the government can say that everything we need to do is very important, but we never had any cases here, so maybe they're exaggerating and everything's just fine. And that's one of the things that I hear a lot, because, hey, I haven't seen anybody close to me, and then I'm not going to name because it's somebody that some of you guys might know, but a relative of a friend of mine passed away, and this friend lives further down in the country, and then it's very easy to understand, and for those people, it's a much more real situation.
Yeah, there's a dynamic here that I've noticed with people I know who think that if you know someone, they don't have it. You can't oh, of course I know this person. Of course they don't have it. Like I'm not saying like Matt and I have hung out a couple times, but like we're both like whatever. But I'm talking about but I'm talking about like people are just like, oh, like all my family members are perfectly fine because I know them, and of course they don't have it.
It's a causation correlation argument, and like, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
They're all the people that I have in my bubble don't have it, therefore nobody has it, or you know what I mean? Like, and it's the dumbest equation in history of mankind. Like, it is what it is, but it's the hardest thing to battle against, because not only is that a negative thing, but it also starts to like eke into like normal people to where they start to feel more comfortable. Like, you think about like a wild animal that just gave birth, or some kind of any kind of animal. Like, they venture out 2 feet, nothing happened. They ventured out 4 feet, nothing happened. They venture out 10 feet, nothing happened.
Mm-hmm.
They'll keep going, okay, I'm safe because I went 100 feet. No, you're just nothing bad happened. Just because you went 100 feet doesn't mean you're safe.
Exactly.
You went 100 feet is just because nothing happened in that instance. Like, that doesn't correlate to the idea that you're safe, but people don't realize that.
Exactly. Here in the Netherlands, on the first day that gastronomy could open up again, June 1st, we had quite incidentally, it wasn't planned ahead of time because of many reasons. In Amsterdam, on the Dam, I don't know if you've ever heard of it, the Dam.
Is it the dam of the Amster? Or?
No, it's in Amsterdam. We have something called the Dam. It's where we have our big, annual.
I know. I'm trying to be funny.
I know you are, and I suddenly realized that, and now I feel like a complete moron. I feel almost as stupid as Keith with his Ron Jeremy mustache.
This is intense.
Almost.
I want this.
Almost.
I want this.
That's true. You want that. I didn't want this. That's true. No, the thing is, so there was this huge demonstration for Black Lives Matter. They expected about 250 people. Thousands showed up. Literally thousands. And everybody was sort of packed in there, which pissed people off for 2 reasons, because they were like, holy shit, aren't we supposed to still do this social distancing thing? And the other reason was 50 meters from the dam, there were pubs struggling to work within the guidelines for the COVID situation to open up. And then there's these thousands and thousands and thousands of people literally shoulder to shoulder. Point of the story is 2 weeks later, there wasn't a spike in COVID numbers.
Yeah.
So you just know what the people's reaction was, right?
Oh, I know there's been reactions here.
As in nothing happened. There wasn't a spike, so it probably isn't that bad. And then you see what happened when beaches in Florida and stuff like that opened. Now their things went haywire, but because we had one instance where things didn't go south when there were thousands of people jam-packed together, people now are saying, see, it's probably not so bad because look at this one example.
That hasn't been the narrative here. The narrative has been, I mean, I guess it's kind of like that. Like, oh, well, I can't go to a bar, but these people can protest or whatever. But like, there's been two things about the protests. Like, the majority of people have been wearing masks because they understand there's a pandemic. So like, they're aware of that. And they're protecting themselves. And two, it's outside. So being outside is way better than being inside.
Exactly.
And they're using that they're not using that as, oh, it's not it's necessarily, they're not using it as it's not that bad, but like, oh, why can thousands of people protest but I can't go to the bar for
exactly that. Yeah.
I think. Well,
not just and to put a cap on Keith's thing real quick, is that like the best analogy I heard about protests versus COVID is that like think of COVID as in protest as a bus and you're a passenger. This is the best analogy I heard. If you get on a bus and the bus starts moving, you should put your seatbelt on. Okay? So the bus driver starts driving the bus. What should you do? You should put your seatbelt on. Okay. That's fucking COVID. If the bus is moving, the bus is COVID, you're the passenger, you should put your seatbelt on, that's masks. If the bus driver gets up and starts shooting passengers, you should probably undo your fucking seatbelt and do something about it. And that's the protest. So you can't put them in the same classification. Again, it's the same level as expertise versus whatever. Be like, okay, COVID's the bus. I get on the bus. I put my seatbelt on. I'm safe. Well, if I'm driving and I'm safe from COVID with the seatbelt on, but the bus driver starts shooting a gun, I'm going to die. I should probably take my fucking seatbelt off and try to help myself or help other people from dying. You know, COVID kind of takes a back seat to that. You know what I mean? You should do something more for it. But anyway, go ahead.
I just want to say thank you, Clint, for the comment.
Yeah, I was actually about to dive into these, and then we have a bunch of stuff going on.
I got a great. I just want to say I have a great analogy for the entire masks and why masks are important. But it's not with a bus. It's basically very simple.
Let's do this. Let's get through comments and then never come back to that. Yeah.
Of course, but that's exactly how a live stream works. So that makes total sense to me. I totally understand.
We have a couple of people going, who's Jordan, who's Bam Bam, all that kind of fun stuff. Alex Beermaster says, Masters Review, or Mercy Beer says, Beer Masters Reviews of douche. I like to say douche. Douche's Imperial Stout was actually, I'm going to say douche. That's what I'm going to do. Indoor dining. Let's see. We have anything good? Here you go. That's probably the best comment the whole fucking time. Totally agree with Harry. That's all we got to post.
Yeah, especially the.
Really, who doesn't know Rick? I mean, in the grand scheme of things.
What, Rick Moranis? Rick Moranis is the best Rick.
Yeah.
Everyone is more important than Flat Earthers. Yeah. I knew Keith would love that.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
Happy face. Keith could quite possibly be the most entertaining person on YouTube in very short snippets.
Yeah, don't let him go longer for a minute though, because then it gets. Then you just keep thinking, why is Ron Jeremy trying to be funny?
I start digging the hole and then I can't get out, and
It's like, oh crap!
Stop.
Okay, so you guys chat what you want to chat about. I'm probably good for another 10, 15. Then I'll leave. I'll leave this open if you guys want to keep going. But yeah,
I'm cool. I'm gonna finish this pale ale, and then it's 1:30 p.m. a.m. here. So yeah, I should probably hit the sack at some point.
Well, let's focus on this then. As Harry works in a brewery, all of us enjoy beer, all that kind of things. What do you guys want to see moving forward outside of the generic bullshit? Like, I want everything to go back to normal. I want to see whatever, like a realistic viewpoint of what you would want to see moving forward. Like realistic, like not everything's normal. Again, we go back to doing whatever. Like, what do you see happening? Or conversely, if you want to go the other direction, where do you think things are going to go in like kind of like a sinister, kind of dark kind of way?
Realistically or hopefully?
I said realistically like 5 times, and I actually like hammered it home. I'm not quite sure what you're trying to do here.
Exactly. No, I'm just trying to make sure that we're on the same level here. Exactly.
I actually spent like 2 minutes like.
Exactly. That's why I'm checking. That's why I'm checking. You said it so often. I'm like, just checking. Realistically.
Okay.
No, realistically, I think we're gonna learn fuck all of this. And if this happens 5 years from now, same shit, different day.
I don't think if it does happen in 5 years' time, I don't think we're gonna do a lockdown, because economically it's fucked us so hard. I don't think we're all gonna be like sat at home, furloughed, or in the UK, I don't know what it is in the rest of the world, but like, I don't think we're going to be sat at home, furloughed, sitting on our arses, because it's weird. As someone who's been working and then seeing someone who's been not working for 3 months, I'm like, oh, so where's my 3 months holiday coming? When's that coming? And 80% pay or whatever. I just don't. But in reality, I just don't see it happening. Because the economy is just so fucked in the UK as a result of lockdown, that they're trying to get everything opened as quickly as possible. It's definitely too soon for a lot of sectors. Pubs, plenty could have done other things in terms of like opening up pop-up shops. I know quite a few around here, because I am in the middle of nowhere. Quite a few have opened up as shops, because there's no shop in the town or no shop in the village, so they're actually just taking on the role of the supermarket or something that might be in the area, and they're doing like takeaways and things like that, and they've been quite popular in that extent. But I think realistically things are just going to return to normal, because it's just too alien the way things are at the moment. Seeing pubs opening tomorrow, I don't really know. I'm not going to my local pubs tomorrow, because I just don't want to, and I want to kind of not have COVID, and want to be safe, to keep on with work. But like, I think we're going to see a rise in terms of illnesses. I think that's naturally going to happen, but it's I just worry. It's just, I think there will be a second peak. And as we have already seen, there's been a localized second peak in Leicester. They obviously closed down the whole city because there's been like just a localized second wave of COVID. So I think that's going to become a little bit more frequent across the rest of the UK.
Keith,
to Harry's first point, I would say I don't know what they're doing in the UK. I've seen a few things, but in the United States, if the government had given the trillions of dollars that they gave to like the corporations and stuff, to like the to to the working class people basically, and the poorer people, the economy would be fine. People would be buying stuff online, whatever. They'd have money to do it. But because they gave it all to the people who already have the money, people still don't have money to buy shit. So, just that. I think we might have covered this in one of the other live streams we did. I don't know if any of you were involved, but the breweries doing delivery and stuff like that is something that would be nice.
Like a statewide delivery, or just
or whatever,
nationwide,
statewide, whatever. That would be, whether it was through the brewery or through like a third party delivery system or whatever. That would also be awesome, because there are a ton of breweries that exist like an hour away or just over an hour away, where I kind of have to find the time to go. But if I could get delivery, I would just buy it and I'd get it like the next day or 2 days later or whatever, and that would be awesome. And I'd be able to support them more often than I would if I had to like drive out there to go there.
Is not much delivery in your area then? I don't really know.
No, there's a ton.
There is, but I think, didn't New York stop delivering? New York.
I heard that, but a lot of New York breweries are still doing it. So
okay.
I don't know the answer about that, but there didn't exist that before the pandemic. Harry,
right?
Like there was, and it's the state specific, but in New Jersey it's kind of opened way up. But as far as I'm concerned, everything's going to go back to the way it was, and I don't say that lightly. I don't be like, oh, everything's going to be fine. If you actually look at history, you look at the way, like, whether, plagues and pandemics and all those things happen, the human, as far as a entity, as far as an organism on Earth, eventually rises above the plague or the virus or whatever it is. I mean, sure, this could be the end all be all. We don't know. But in the grand scheme of things, history has taught us that we'll eventually get back to a normal state of things. It just sucks that we're the people that have to be dealt with the curveball that is the pandemic. You know what I mean? So everything will get back to normal. Maybe not for us, but maybe for our children. You know what I mean? And things like that. So everything will get back to normal to a certain extent, a certain thing, and then we'll be fine. But like the grand scheme of things, and this has been the point since I think the get, which is what everybody has echoed when it comes to the whole COVID thing, is trying to reduce the amount of losses. We could all, furlough, we could all, sit around and not work. And I did that. I worked from home for 3 months, and I was lucky enough to do that. I could do it again, and try to keep those numbers down. But the evil thing that exists is the economy, and we all have to keep that going because that's the way the human machine works nowadays. So unfortunately, we have to live by that kind of model, and that's the way we have to kind of function. But I mean, we'll all be fine. You might not be fine. You know what I mean? You individually by yourself might not be fine, but the species and society and humans and of themselves will make it through.
We'll adapt.
Sure.
Hold on, Keith wants to say something very negative. Hold on.
So to Matt's point, everybody's getting by. If you got like unemployment, I haven't worked in over 3 months, and I have still yet to receive unemployment.
I offered you a job.
No, I know. Actually, I
offered you a job that you didn't have to drive to. I would shuttle to you shuttle you to and from the job every day. So
No, I'm just
don't tell me you could say you haven't earned money.
Yeah.
But don't tell me you haven't had a job. I'm trying to give you a job.
No, I know that. But like you offered that like 2 weeks ago. I haven't received unemployment for like the 2.5 months before that. So it's I'm fine. Like I'm doing okay. This isn't like a pity thing. I'm just saying like people are definitely suffering on an individual level, and I can attest to that. But
no, I agree.
Yeah, but that's an entire debate about, you look at the individual, you look at the entity of humanity, you look at the group, you look at the person, and as like Matt said, as humanity, we'll survive.
Absolutely.
We'll be okay. As an individual, as a person, there's a lot of people around us that's going to be fucked. And the thing is, we just look at ourselves and we look at our own position, and then we're going to go like everything's fucked up. And then the people, sorry.
Can I make another point? Like,
Sure.
As far as like in regard to the United States, police are murdering black people at crazy rates, and we're still a society, a fucked up kind of whatever society.
That's
but
that's a whole nother discussion. You know what I mean? Like we weren't. You know what I mean?
You wanted to get into that, but like on an individual level, you could look at it like, oh well, whoever got killed by police, whatever. But
exactly. But
I'm saying. Yeah, sorry.
No, what I'm saying is that's the thing. It's all a matter of point of view. It's
right,
perspective,
exactly.
and
Okay. Let's boil it down to the most basic of concepts. Everybody here who didn't drink a beer tonight, raise your hand. Keith, you didn't drink one beer?
No, he drank several beers.
I didn't drink one. I drank like 4, 5.
And the point is, if you're on YouTube doing a live stream drinking beer, your life's not hard. Your life isn't hard.
Hell no.
There's nothing hard about it.
Absolutely.
And no, and I understand that. I'm not trying to diminish what you're saying, Keith.
No.
What I'm saying is
we're
not the people in the trenches. We're not the people fucking, absolutely. You know what I mean? Like fighting for our lives. And like you were talking about, African American people, black people getting murdered. We had that conversation, and I'm not trying to skirt that conversation. That conversation needs to be had more than any conversation right now, but that's not what we're talking about right now. So
no, absolutely.
It is, we're drinking beer, talking about beer on YouTube, and it ended up being a COVID talk, which is fine by me. Like, I'm not actually diminishing that, because these are things that need to be talked about.
Isn't it one of those shitty things that you sorry?
It affects pretty much everything right now.
Exactly.
So it's kind of hard to not have a conversation about whether it's beer, whether it's police brutality, whether it's fucking protests, whether it's whatever. Like, it's part of every single conversation that you have to have right now.
As it should be. Be. So.
Anyway, Thomas, what were you? Oh, Thomas was going to say something.
Well, no, we're leaving. This is done. Right. We're over with. You want to know why? Because I want to stop it. I want to go play fucking video games right now. You motherfuckers have been talking for over 2 hours. I just want to leave. And these motherfuckers, this is like, what is it? Like 7, 8 o'clock here? It's like fucking 3 a.m. there. So anyway, anybody comments I missed? I saw fucking a bunch of people in the comments that I should have fucking responded to. Clinton Watts, fucking Hesselman's, fucking Mercy Beers is in there. Awesome.
The only thing that there's two comments that are very important. Mercy Beers would just like to say, I Started Digging a Hole is definitely a Ron Jeremy film. And Douglas Hesselman would like to say, if Keith would wear a mankini, he also would look a lot like Borat. So in the next, we now know what you're going to be wearing in the next live stream, and maybe we should drop it at that.
So there you go. So Tomas Opent with the end game. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the live stream. Hopefully you'll enjoy the next one. Hopefully see you next time. Peace.
Cheers.
Oh, goddamn! You have to click end 12.